Hare Krishna, and we're back with the Message of Godhead, this book by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Prabhupada. We're on page number 57. Bhagavad-gita 5.18 further elucidates that when a learned man attains to absolute vision, he can observe every living being, whether a learned and gentle brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, or a dog-eater, with equanimity. Among the human beings, a learned and gentle brahmana is the embodiment of nature's mode of goodness, while among the beasts, the cow is the embodiment of the mode of goodness. The elephant and the tiger are embodiments of the passionate mode of nature, while the dog and the chandala, dog-eater, are the embodiments of nature's mode of darkness or ignorance. However, instead of focusing on the various external tabernacles of these living entities, their embodiments under various modes of nature, the Karma Yogi looks upon them with his absolute vision and thus penetrates to the spirit embodied therein. And because this infinitesimal spirit emanates from the infinite Supreme Spirit, the Karma Yogi in the highest state can observe anyone, everyone, everything with equanimity. Such a Karma Yogi views everything in relation to the Absolute, and therefore he engages everything in the transcendental service of the Absolute. He observes all living entities as so many transcendental servitors of the Absolute Godhead, Sri Krishna. His perfect spiritual vision cannot but penetrate the engagement of every material body, just as a red-hot iron cannot but burn everything it contacts. Thus, the Karma Yogi sets an example of transcendental character by engaging everyone and everything in the transcendental service of the personality of Godhead. The Karma Yogi knows very well that Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, is the enjoyer of everything and that he is the Lord of all living entities. He sees no value in the false prestige that leads people to put themselves in the position of either an enjoyer or a renouncer. The learned sages feel disgust with this sort of false prestige, seeing it as the primary disease of material existence. False prestige is the primary disease of material existence. All good work, culture of knowledge, meditation, austerity, sacrifice, all these activities are meant to ameliorate this material disease. Therefore, the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, says in Bhagavad-gita 5.29 that one can attain supreme peace by knowing that he is the enjoyer of all sacrifices and austerities, the Lord of all universes, and also the supreme friend of all living entities. We have already discussed the necessity of performing work only for sacrifice, or to please the transcendental senses of Vishnu. And the above statement of Bhagavad-gita makes it clear that Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is alone capable of enjoying the result of all sacrificial performances. The sacrifices of the ordinary workers and the meditation and austerities of the empiric philosophers are all ordained and maintained by the Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. Also, the Supersoul, the localized aspect of Vishnu, who is the object of meditation for the mystic yogis, is a plenary portion of Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead. Thus, Sri Krishna is the friend of everyone, whether be an ordinary worker, an empiric philosopher, or even a mystic yogi. And what to speak of the devotees, who are 100% servitors of the personality of Godhead. The personality of Godhead always does good for one and all by empowering his devotees to preach and propagate the transcendental process of devotional service to Godhead everywhere, in accord with the specific time, place, and audience. The Lord is therefore the reservoir of all blessings, and the people in general can attain perfect peace and happiness when they come to know Him by the process of devotional service, beginning with Karma Yoga. Those who do everything for the transcendental service of the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, have no need to perform any sacrifices, penance, or meditation that is unrelated to the service of Godhead. We have already discussed herein before that qualities of goodness, which are the signs of the Brahmana, are included within the qualities of such devotees of the Lord. In the same manner, the sincere worker's sacrifice and expertise, the sannyasi's renunciation and knowledge, the mystic yogi's stillness and deep concentration on God, all these qualities, as well as love for Godhead, are included within the qualities of the devotee. The fact is that Sri Krishna himself becomes the enjoyer of the fruits of the work performed by the devotee. Thus, the devotee has no responsibility for the results of his work, whether those results be good or bad in the estimation of worldly people. The devotee acts under the impetus of his obligation to do everything for the sake of Sri Krishna. He never acts on his own accord. In contrast, the sannyasi who is not a devotee of Godhead relieves himself of all worldly responsibilities in order to acquire knowledge relating to the all-pervasive spirit. The mystic yogi takes similar measures so that he can enhance his meditation and better visualize within himself the localized aspect of the same Supreme Spirit. But the devotee acts only for the satisfaction of the Supreme Person, without being impelled by a motive of self-satisfaction, and thus he is actually free from all worldly duties, without the separate effort made by the sannyasis and the mystics. The spiritual knowledge acquired by the sannyasis and the eightfold perfections achieved by the mystic yogis are all within easy reach of the devotee. Still, the devotee does not desire to achieve any profit, adoration, or distinction. He desires no gain whatsoever, except to be engaged in the transcendental service of Godhead. Simply by such service, he gains all. Once one achieves the supreme gain which encompasses all other gains, what is there still to be achieved? Following the system of yoga by Patanjali. Following the system of yoga set forth by Patanjali, the mystic yogi virtually ceases his various bodily functions and tries to attain meditative trance. Thus, he tolerates all sorts of tribulations in order to visualize within his heart the localized aspect of the Supreme Spirit. In other words, he does not care about what it may take, even if it means meeting with death, to realize his ideal, which has no equal in the universe. As the personality of Godhead, says in Bhagavad-gita 6.22, upon realizing the Supreme Spirit within the heart, the mystic yogi considers that nothing could be more valuable than the attainment of that transcendental state. To be in that state means not to be perturbed by any distress, however severe it may be. According to the Patanjali system, mystic yoga aims at perfect control of the mental plane with its various fickle inclinations. This transcendental state, Patanjali says, consists of becoming free from sensuous activities and attaining the stage of perfection, perceptible only to the purified spirit soul. In such a state, the attention of the mystic never deviates from that spiritual achievement. Thank you so much for tuning in. The link to this book is in the description, and we will see you next time. Hare Krishna. Tomorrow, in the next episode, we're going to read about the definition of the mystic yoga and how Hatha yoga and the mystic path is basically one, because it is all yoga. So it's going to be very interesting and very insightful episode. So stay tuned, and we'll see you next time. Hare Krishna.